Welcome and thank you for tuning in to the Believe in Yourself podcast. I'm your host, Mr. Believe, better known as Kevbiyi, man. And if you yourself are interested in creating your own podcast, let me show you how to do it, man. Let me give you some great advice. If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. I only need two things real quick. Listen in close. Number one, it's free. That should say it all right there. But if that's not enough, number two, you can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. That means you can start making money from day one on your podcast and start putting that money to good use. So, let me give you the information. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. That's ANCHOR.FM to get started today. And I want to hear your podcast. Peace. Thank you for tuning into the Believe in Yourself podcast. On today's episode, we're sitting down with Danielle of Kevbiyi Elise. She makes holistic products and holistic different herbs and different things that you can use for your healing. Much more like an herbalist or an alternative healing type of specialist. So definitely want to tune in and hear to her story of how she became and learned how to heal herself, and now is in turn healing others. Thank you for tuning in to the Believe in Yourself podcast. Now I'm your host, Kevbiyi, and I just want to say thank you to everyone who's been tuning into these episodes. And I pray, and my prayer is that everyone has been getting some type of inspiration, motivation, or even some tips and tricks of the trade that they can use in their everyday journey or lives into entrepreneurship, professionalism, or just downright living. Now, if you want some more from our guests on the show, we're eventually going to be partnering with them and bringing you some special discounted items later on. So if you love these guests and love the things that they have to offer and you would love to support and build the community, all you need to do is text BIY to 31996. That's BIY to 31996, and let's grow this community together. Peace.
Hello, Danielle. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great, man. Doing great. Look like you're doing good on this beautiful day. How's your day been so far?
My day has been busy. I'm getting ready to pack up for this move, so I've been running around in this heat. But it's a beautiful day, and we blessed, so we're not going to complain.
Heat is an understatement. This summer has been another level, man. I'm telling you, like this weather, I promise I feel like I've been on a plantation like 2 days out of this year so far.
Well, see, I'm in Massachusetts, so it's not that hot here. It's like yesterday it was in the 60s and it was windy. It was a beautiful day. But today it was like 89 and sunny and humid. So
when I hear that, it makes me so jealous. Because over here in South Florida, we've been in 90s. Almost every day with no break. And then when it does rain, prepare for that humidity. So besides all that heat and that climate, how do you feel about the climate of what's been going on in our country, the world, COVID, the protests?
I've been very emotional. I'm not even gonna lie. As a healer and an empath, the energy has been crazy for me. Like the highs and the lows. It's just really sad that us as Black people are still fighting for equality in 2020. Like that's really just devastating. I was driving down the street today, and I mean, I get it, the Black Lives Matter signs and stuff like that, but it really pisses me off, to be completely honest with you, because we should not have to have Black Lives Matter signs on our front lawns and banners on our houses. It should be all our, we matter. Like, it's ridiculous. So, and then COVID on top of that and being quarantined, it's just a lot.
It can be a lot, man. I can see why it would make you be taking it in stride, man. And just, as far as the Black Lives Matter movement, I appreciate it, but I'm all for like let's put some actionable goals on the table. Let's actually put some things together. You know what I'm saying? Right. Protests and stuff, like, it's cool, but it doesn't sustain anything after a while. Like, it's just on emotion. And then these real sustainable actions. Are we going to put together a pact? Are we going to buy our politicians like most of them do? There's nothing wrong with putting together and lobbying and doing things to put judges and lawyers in place. You know, that I feel like would be much more beneficial than to go and ask for people to respect us. Let's take our respect. Let's take ownership of it and handle it. That's what I feel about it. Now, COVID, I'm a little bit of a conspiracy theorist, so I can go on all day about how I feel. That's one big thing. But I got to respect everybody at the same time, and I understand people have issues, so they are more concerned. But I just feel like it's a little overkill. And I'll just leave it like that. I just like it's overkill. It's a little too much.
I agree with that. I definitely agree with that. And then I saw an article that just passed up, Apple News. It just popped up on my phone, and now it's like if you have, depending on your blood type, depends on your risk. So if you're like a blood type A, you're more at risk for catching COVID than if you are a blood type O. So I agree with you. I'm just like, all right, it's enough at this point.
It's something new every day, and then next week we're gonna change it to say blood type D or something crazy.
Right.
Yeah, it's been all over the place, man.
Yeah, I agree.
For all those that's been tuning in, man, this beautiful lady that you guys are looking at, I met through Unity as well. This group that we have of entrepreneurs is like a think tank where it helps and connects everybody, connects all of us together. So Ms. Danielle was gracious enough to grace me with her presence on the show today. So I want her to give a little introduction and a background about what she does, because she has some great items and products on her page. You guys have time to check it out.
Yes, definitely check out the page. So my name is Danielle, but everybody calls me Danny. Capera Elise is my business. Capera, I took basically from the African god, and that's the sun god. And Capera literally means recreating oneself. So I took that. Yeah, I did too. And it's spelled a different way, so I kind of struggled with the name at first, but I knew that was what it was going to be. And then Elise is actually my middle name, and it means of the noble. So and if you translate noble as far as the definition of that, it basically is like outstanding qualities, top-notch royalty. So it translates to recreating oneself with outstanding qualities, Capera Elise.
Wow, so I like that.
Thank you. So with that, I basically started. My first day of launching the business was December 31st of 2018. And it came about because I was going through this spiritual process of healing myself and transforming my pain into power. And for my birthday, January 2019, I took my daughter to Jamaica to celebrate my birthday. And that was just like a huge thing for me because she was only one at the time, and it was just like a milestone for me. Yeah, it was a milestone for me. And so when I was there, they have the vendors selling jewelry and stuff like that, anklets and beads and shells. And at the time, I had been talking to my best friend, and she was like, "You need a hobby." So when I was there and I saw this stuff, and they wanted like $20 for something that you could easily make or spend like $5 in America. And I get it because of the economy and tourism and stuff like that. But basically I was like, I need a hobby. I don't want to pay that, but I could make that. So when I came home, I started just making a bunch of different jewelry, and that's how my business originally started.
Wow.
And I had been into tarot too, so I had just been reading for myself, but then my sisters that I was working with, they were like, take the leap of faith and start doing it for people, and I did. So basically, then I started doing tarot, and I've always been a natural type of person. My grandmother raised me in the garden. She grew her own fruits and vegetables and stuff like that. And I was working for a job in corporate America, and I just was like, this ain't it. I'm not going to be able to do this too much longer. So I went and I got certified as a master herbalist. I got certified as a holistic therapist, and then I studied life coaching as well. And from there, I just started working with people behind the scenes, one-on-one, friends and family. And now it's grown into the business that it is now, where I'm making products for people. I'm doing consultations, and I just keep growing my practice with everything holistic. So now I do Reiki, I do private yoni steams, I do personal massage, aromatherapy, sound therapy. So
you're
it was just history. Yep.
One-stop spot for holisticness. So
that's the plan.
So how did you get into the mental aspect of it? Because you said you were doing tarot and had your sister that told you about it. Was that something that you were always into? And do you incorporate that into your jewelry?
I do. So with every piece of jewelry that I make, there's like a cleansing process. So after I make it, I stage it, I put it in the sun or the moonlight. Excuse me, I'm sorry. My 3-year-old wants to be in the call.
I'm 5, so I know that is right now.
Yeah. So like I set positive intentions over it, and then I wrap it up and send it off. So there's a spiritual process behind that. And then ultimately, I've just been into African spirituality for a long time, because when I was growing up, raised in a Christian household and in a Christian church, I had a bunch of questions about the Bible that nobody could really answer. So it was like, okay, this doesn't work for me if you keep telling me to go read my Bible, and I am reading my Bible, and you still can't answer questions. So from there, I ended up studying, when I went to college, I took a world religions course, and this was back in 2005. I took a world religions course, and I studied the Quran, and I studied the Torah, and I studied Buddhism and Judaism and Taoism and African spirituality, and I found that they all had a lot in common. And for me, it was like when I started researching and studying African spirituality, I ended up taking a cruise. And I swear, my ancestors were talking to me the whole time I was on that ship. Like, my dreams, I saw people, like, I could feel people grabbing at me in my sleep over the water and stuff. So that's really when I was like, okay, I need to tap into this, and I need to learn more about it. And then when I got pregnant with my daughter, it was like a lot of my history, my family history is lost. So then I just started going hard and researching even more, just trying to dig up as much as I can to figure out where exactly do I come from, so I can pass that on and give that to her.
Definitely. Wow, that's a experience and a half. How was that cruise?
It was an emotional cruise for me, because it was my first time like really going out the country though, and I was with people that I knew, but they weren't experiencing what I was experiencing. Like, I was waking up out my sleep and I was crying because I could feel people like trying to grab, like, it's almost as if they were asking me for help. And not even that I could help them, but it was more so like, hear me, know me, understand my story is what I felt like. And from there, I was like, I need to do some more research, because I've always believed in spirits and stuff like that. So it was like, oh, okay. It wasn't like, oh, I'm haunted or the ship is haunted or anything. It was like, no, there's a story behind this, and I feel like I'm connected to this story, and I need to find out more.
I can definitely relate with your journey, as you said, growing up in the Christian church, because I was one. And I probably went at the same time that you said you that's what my world religion has about 6. And we studied religion as well. And the one thing that I took away from it when I was studying it, I was like, a lot of these things sound the same. They're just looking at it like,
they all have the same principles. They just break it down in a different way. It's like we saying the same thing, but we're saying it in different languages.
Exactly. And the way that I try to describe that to somebody who's like a Christian, because most of my friends are still Christian, because that's the place where I came from. I try to explain to them and say, like if we had this water bottle, let's say the Christians are standing on this side and they're looking at this. This represents God. They're looking from this perspective, and the Muslims are on this side, this perspective, and arguing about what they're seeing. Oh no, right. God is supposed to be this, and no, God is going to be this. But maybe if you walk over here, where the Christians are at, look at it, you got to understand what they're saying, and vice versa. And that's how I think, like, God is not in one religion. It's just people use religions to find their path to him. So that's how I kind of took it from it. Now you said you're a master herbalist. Now I'm just recently starting to get into herbs, and I'm a little bit understanding of it. But like, could you tell me a little bit more about like what is a master herbalist? What is that?
So it's basically a title, as anything else is. If I'm being completely honest, but basically the course that I took, it was a very extensive course. So it went through every system in the body, and then it broke down all the different herbs and tinctures and things basically that you could create to keep those systems healthy. So, and it was, so it was teaching you about the herbs. So one, to be able to identify them by sight, touch, smell, or whatever the case may be, know what their healing properties are, know what their contraindications are, know if there's any toxins associated with it or what they can be mixed with. And then it gave me like different recipes and stuff to be able to create my own teas, tinctures, whatever the case may be. So a lot of it for me is really one-on-one, because one thing about holistic advocates, therapists, or whatever, we're not like doctors. So we don't use the word diagnose, and we don't use the word symptom. We don't treat symptoms and stuff like that. We look at the person as a whole, and we look at the individual and their entire lifestyle, and then we make basically recommendations based off of what it is that you're telling us, and we go from there. So for me, with my business, it's very difficult to advertise a lot of the things when it comes to the herbs to making it, because a lot of it is really tailored to the individual. What one tea might work for me, you might have an allergy to, or it may not work for you. Like I may have high blood pressure, but you may have high cholesterol. So it's not going to have the same effects on you as it is going to have on me. So I can't even make a bunch of bulk products to be able to sell, because that's not my goal. I'm not trying to be like just a store that you can come like, oh, I got this, and let me take these herbs because I looked it up on the internet. No, I want to talk to you. I want to have a consultation with you. If you book a consultation with me, I'm going to give you a free sample.
Hey, what's going on? I hope you guys enjoying the episode. This is Mr. Believe, and I just want to invite you guys to follow me on IG at KEV as in Victor, B as in boy, IYI. That's at Kevbiyi on IG if you want to catch any of these interviews live and in color. See you soon.
Of whatever it is that we discussed anyway, and then it's an ongoing thing. Like people think like, oh, I'm gonna drink this tea or I'm gonna do this detox and I'm gonna be healthy. No, you 30 years old, you got 30 years of bad health habits and all these underlying things. Like, this one tea is not going to cure that over the weekend.
Exactly. So, you can't drive down 30 miles on a highway and stop, turn around, and just be at your house. You got to drive 30 miles.
You got 30 miles back. And it's work. And like I said, we don't just treat the symptoms, it's the whole person. So what's like, what is your work schedule like? What is your sleep like? What is your diet like? Do you do any exercise? Like, we have to look at all aspects and then go from there, because your high blood pressure, it could be contributed to your diet, but it could be contributed to the people that you're around every day, the environments that you're in. Driving to work, that's stressful. Sitting in traffic, that's stressful. Dealing with a difficult boss or, an employee. All of those are stresses that continuously happen every day that we don't necessarily think about. But you're going to say, your doctor's going to tell you, oh, you got high blood pressure. You're like, yeah, I do eat a lot of salt. Yeah, I probably do eat a lot of that. And it's like, you probably aren't really eating all of that. Like, that's not really even contributing to your stress. It's everything as a whole. So that's what we really just try and put out there. Like, I can't give you an overnight remedy. It's not going to help. And you can try my tea one time, but if you don't keep taking it, you're not going to see the effects of it. So it's a process.
When you do the herbs, does that go with the diet, or is it just herbs? How does that, do they have to have a specific diet as well while they're taking the herbs?
Not in general. It really just depends on what it is. So like I have someone who came to me, she's an older woman and she's started menopause. So it's like, okay, well, we know with menopause there's a lot of physical changes, there's a lot of hormonal changes, so we try and figure out where exactly you're at in the menopause and what you are actually experiencing, and then we can work from there. So maybe it's you just aren't sleeping well. So if you're not sleeping well, I can give you a bath steam that you can put in your bath that's going to help your body relax, going to get into your pores. I can give you a smoke blend. You can take a couple puffs, and you're going to go to sleep. Or I could give you a tea. Or I could also make an oil for you that you can rub on your skin, and then the aromatherapy is going to trigger that sleepiness in your brain. So that's why I can't even do one specific thing because it could be all of those or it could be one of those. Okay. But only if you try it and you do it, you're going to know what's best for you.
Definitely. So when I heard, are you familiar with Dr. Sebi?
Absolutely.
Yeah, his whole thing was that herbs are the healing of the nation. Herbs are what heals your body. And he always used to say this one thing, that there's no disease, there's only one cause, and that's mucus.
Yes.
Do you believe in that?
I do. Mucus it holds a lot in it, and then it multiplies very quickly. So because of that, it is the cause. You got to figure when you're sick, what's the first thing? You get a runny nose, your nose start running. All of that is mucus. You got a cough, that phlegm, that's mucus. So all of it is it's excess mucus. When you get an infection or when you get sick, it's excess mucus in your body that's trying to rid itself. I always think of like the commercial Mucinex. When there's like, when you're sick and you get them little bugs and stuff like that, that's all living inside you repeatedly. And it's like when you take that medicine or whatever, it's like, it kicks it out. But if you just start on a herbal path, it's never going to get to that point. So it's really just about controlling and balancing everything. Everything is about balance in life in general, and the body is definitely one of those.
Definitely, the balance is definitely important. I've seen a big uptick in people lately now with the COVID. A lot of people taking sea moss. Is that but I've also heard some people saying sea moss is not as mineral full as it used to be because of the pollution in the water. How do you feel about that?
I agree with that. So I've been taking sea moss for a couple of years now. My cousin put me onto sea moss. She's like a health nut, and she's always been on me. So she put me onto sea moss a couple of years ago, but because sea moss became so popular, like the fad, so to say, it's all about where you are getting it. Because yes, there's pollution, there's a bunch of stuff going on in the water. So, Irish sea moss is something completely different than regular sea moss. So it's a matter of where you're getting it from. But ultimately, I definitely recommend sea moss at least once a day because it does have 92 minerals of the 102 or 112 minerals that the body needs. So if it's there, like it's 90% of basically what your body needs on a daily basis to thrive. So if you take that sea moss and then you incorporate more water and you incorporate your fruits and vegetables, you pretty much will be golden. Like you'd be able to eat the bad stuff, but it's all going to be in moderation. You have, obviously have to do it in moderation. But if you start on a healthy regimen, like me personally, when I wake up, I have a vitamin that I take. My daughter and I take a vitamin. I have sea moss capsules that have bladderwrack also in them. But then I also have sea moss gel. So if I don't take a capsule, I make a smoothie and I put the sea moss in my smoothie and I put like hemp seeds and chia seeds and stuff like that. And then I drink water or tea throughout the rest of the day. I really only eat like one big meal, which is around lunchtime. And then the rest is just like healthy fruit snacks. But even as a master herbalist, like I'm just getting to that level as far as a routine. Like it takes a lot of discipline and it's quite expensive. Like, it costs money to be able to have that. But, I have my colloidal silver. I have my gold that I take. I got my black seed oil and stuff. But
I've tried the black seed as well.
It's disgusting, but, it's healthy.
It's
It's healthy.
After a while.
Yeah, no, it's disgusting. It's disgusting. I'm not even gonna hold you. And you know what? A lot of the healthy stuff is disgusting, but you get used to it after a while. Like as a kid, you didn't like certain things, but now you probably love them. So it's the same principle.
Yeah, it's pretty much the same thing. But which sea moss do you think is the best? Because like you said, the Irish, and then I heard of this purple sea moss that people are using as well. I don't know if that's Irish. It's like I don't like which sea moss is the most closest to the one that has the most minerals or more minerals in it.
I'm not exactly familiar with that. I only get my sea moss from one particular source, and it's the Jamaicans that I know that are coming back and forth from Jamaica. So I can only really speak to that quality because I haven't tried the other ones. Just because I know like some people are getting it like it's not supposed to be completely dried out when you get in it. So I've seen people who've gotten it where it's like you can break it off and almost like
and then they got to soak it back inside the water.
Exactly, you're supposed to soak it and get. When you soak it, it basically helps to cleanse it, but that takes like some of the salt off of it because obviously you're not supposed to consume too much salt on it, and it's sea salt at that point. Even though sea salt is the most healthiest salt out there, so to say.
Even more healthier than the pink Himalayan pink salt. Oh, we got a little lag. Hello, can you hear me now? We got a little pause while she's working on her service. If you guys can still see or hear me, hit like the heart or give me a thumbs up to know that we're still active. Anybody that's in the room? Yeah. Anybody here that can still hear me? If you got me, give me a thumbs up. Give me a heart. Let me know that you guys can still hear me. I think she's going to come back into the room. She had a little bit of service issues. And anybody who has any questions, I've seen somebody drop a question in this question box below. There you go. Drop the question box in the question box below. If you have any questions for Danielle, please just put your question in the question box below, and we're going to answer them at the end. Let's see if she's going to come back in here today. Okay. And remember, if you guys want to join the Believe in Yourself community, just text BIY to 31996. That's BIY to 31996. And also, while she's coming back into the room, I just want to let everybody know about the Black Dollar Challenge that we're going on this month. We're spotlighting 2 businesses. One of them is Unity as well, and the other one is Extraordinary Youth Inc. You just send $1 to enter in to the raffle, because the raffle prize, we're going to be coming from Unity as well. There's going to be some Unity boosters. We're going to get you some sea moss, some elderberry drinks and things for you to be able to take. And then from there, your money that you donate will go to help build Extraordinary Youth Inc. What Extraordinary Youth is, they help to use the arts to build our kids' confidence and help them with public speaking and things like that, so that they can become more confident and, just better overall individuals as a whole, and using it through the arts. We're using dance, they're using music, they're using acting, just all those arts that they're slowly taking out of the schools. So that's why it's very important we support organizations like this. And not only support an organization like this, it's a Black-owned organization. So that helps. It's going to help our kids, and it's going to promote the future for us. So definitely you want to send your dollar to the cash tag IBelieve15. That's the cash tag IBelieve15. I don't know what's going on right now. If anybody's in the room, which I don't know if anybody is, give me a thumbs up. Give me a whoop-de-whoop. What's up? What's up? So, the golden nugget for today. Golden nugget comes from Titan Protective Services. Titan Protective Services protect what matters most to you. Things may come to those who wait, but only the things left by those who hustle. Let me say that again. saying, everybody says good things come to those who wait, which is true. But the people who go out there and take that extra step, do that extra mile, take that extra rep, do those extra things are the ones who actually get those things. And the people who are just sitting around waiting for their blessings to come, they just get the leftovers of all what the hustler has taken and can't carry with them. So once again, the golden nugget by Titan Pro Sir today is things may come to those who wait, but only the things that are left by those who hustle. And Danielle made it back. How you doing?
I'm so sorry. My phone ended up dying. I didn't even get the notification.
Oh, man. It's okay. We'll be back. We're in full effect. So,
Yes.
now that you got all of these things going on, 2019, it seems like you've just been expanding and growing, and you still got your job, a new baby. Has there ever been a time where you thought like this was just too much? I don't know if I'm making the right decision.
You know what? I'm not even going to lie to you. I've been feeling like that recently. But I think it's just because of everything that I do have going on. So like I shared with you, I live in Massachusetts right now, but I'm actually getting ready to relocate to Houston, Texas. So I think with the move and like I'm still I have a client coming tomorrow night, and my movers are coming on Saturday. So it's like I'm still working, I'm still doing the business. So I think for myself, I think I just took on too much, especially with my little girl, because we've been quarantined, so she's been in the house and she's like, mommy, 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 mommy.
Oh yeah, stop.
Yeah, yeah. But I'm not discouraged. Like I would say maybe like a month or two ago, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna just delete social media and I'm gonna just focus on, doing what I gotta do. And if I pick it up later, I'll pick it up later. But I know that I've been called to this for a reason, and I have a lot of people. Like I didn't even think that I was gonna have a lot of people that were gonna miss me when I was leaving. But now that I'm leaving, they're like, well, are you doing virtual sessions? Like, how can I get virtual sessions with you? Because that's not what I signed up for. I signed up to work with you.
There you go.
Yeah, so for me, it's like, oh, okay, like, I can't stop now. And I started this because I wanted to put something in place so that by the time my daughter was 6, 7, 8 years old, she could be the CEO of her own company. Like, she helps me make jewelry now. She's like, mommy, I want to help you. She put the little beads on the string and stuff like that. So I'm doing it for her. So at this point, quitting is not an option.
Thank you. That's a great answer right there. And not to say that.
Hey, it's Mr. Believe, and I'm here to tell you about Titan Protective Services, where they protect what matters most to you. Titan Protective Services provides innovative security solutions for apartment complexes, rental properties, and condominiums. We believe that as a family-run company, we are here to make sure your property is taken care of and protected from vandalism, theft, and destruction. Contact us today for your security needs. Visit www.titanproserv.com today or call us at 844-39-TITAN. That's 844-39-TITAN.
Everybody doesn't get this. I have it all the time. If there's ever something that happens, every time something hits me, I'm always like, man, how can I avoid it? Oh my gosh, why did I do that? And then when you have those people that's like, hey, you got this, what you needed, it's like that reassurance just makes you say, you know what? I'm still gonna keep going. I got this. I'm gonna keep pushing. I'm going. And to get that reassurance definitely helps. You definitely have to keep going because I don't know many master herbalists. I don't know many people that can explain to me the herbs. Like I'm interested in it, but not that to study about it. So I need people like you around who I can go to and say, hey man, I got this little, what should I use? I need your expertise. I'm glad you keep going. So what would you say has been your biggest accomplishment?
My biggest accomplishment? I'm not even gonna lie. When I got my first international order, that was like, Mama, we made it. me, it was just like, I didn't expect to, when I started doing jewelry and doing tarot, I didn't expect to get the response that I had. And at this particular point, my only avenue as far as advertising and marketing, like, I don't have social media. Like, my Instagram, this business page, is the only social media that I have. So everything has legit either been through word of mouth or through Instagram. So I think when I hit my first 500 followers, I was like, y'all following me? Y'all like my stuff? Like, oh, okay. Let me keep going. And then I hit 1,000, and I was like, oh, we made it. Like, okay, I definitely got to keep going.
There it goes, man. That speaks volumes to the work that you do. That just shows you that when you're doing something that you're meant to be doing, and people are just spreading the word. I mean, when you come in contact with them, they're definitely leaving fully satisfied.
Yeah, and that I think I posted that a little while ago. Like, the biggest compliment at this point is a referral. Like, when I see people just @ing people on certain things on my page and my history, that makes my day. I don't even care if I don't get a sale. It's basically like, you brought me, somebody liked what you had that you got from me, and I brought up in conversation, and you told somebody about me, like, that means everything to me, because you didn't have to do that. You could have been like, oh, I got this from Walmart, or I got this, or I made it myself, you know. But you was like, oh, I got this from my homegirl Danny. Go check her out. Matter of fact, I'm going to tag you. I have to bring a tear to my eye, like.
That's good, man. It just shows that you're doing good work. Your work speaks for itself. That's great.
Thank you.
So what lessons have you learned?
You know what? I'm not even going to lie. The biggest lesson I learned, because I almost didn't start because I didn't have the startup that I needed to start as an official business. So when I say that, I'm talking about your EIN, your LLC, you know, all the official paperwork to be a business. So I almost didn't start because I got discouraged by the fees that I had to pay just before I can even start selling the jewelry that I'm making, that I invested in all this product. But I just was like, you know what? I'm not even going to worry about that right now. I'm going to start, and we're going to see what we got. You know, I'm going to see how this plays out. And then, like I said, I started, and it started going, and it started going. So I actually didn't even register the business until this year. I've been operating for a year and a half, and I'm just getting all the paperwork, like, in order. But for any up-and-coming entrepreneurs out there, that's my one big advice to you. Like, if you have an idea, pursue it, and don't let official paperwork stop you, because you're going to get to that point, and you know, everything is a starting period. Like how you go to college, you got to take a couple classes before you figure out what exactly that you want to do. That's the same thing with starting a business, because you could start it, like I could have started and be like, yeah, no, I don't think this is going to work out for me. I'm going to go back to my 9 to 5 where I have a comfortable paycheck coming in. Because as an entrepreneur, one week you might make $10. The next week you might make $1,000. The next week you might make $50. You got to try and balance and figure it all out. So don't let the money and the paperwork discourage you. If you got a plan and you got an idea, just do it. And everything else will fall into place after if it's meant to be.
Yes, I agree with that 100%. That's one thing I used to always do. Like, I had so many different LLCs and different things that I started that I never even finished or even started or even did after I got the paperwork. So
right, you got the paperwork.
You want to do something, do it first. Don't worry about the paperwork. Do it. See if you have people interested. See if you have an audience. See if you can find your clients first. And then once you start making a little bit of money, let that money pay for it. Right. And then you got your business going. Don't get stressed out over paperwork, man. It's just a shit paper at the end of the day.
Master what you want to do first, and then go from there. Get the game plan, write the business plan, because that's gonna help you get what you need to do. But don't stress over it. Like, it's important, but it's not the most important thing when you first starting out. The most important thing when you first starting out is to start.
Just get the work going, man.
Just get it going.
Just to get all the paperwork and then be sitting there and then have to pay fees to renew it, making no money. You've already made your money and you just started this year. So you don't even have, you saved so much money already, and now you're able to use the money that you made to get the paperwork that you get it done the right way. You know, don't have to rush and stress about it. That's perfect, man. I like that. So you got all these herbs herbs and all of these beautiful jewels and things that you use, tarot cards, but I still know that it can be stressful, especially with the little one around. You know, we love them, but Lord help us. You know, so how do you deal and cope with stress? You know, with what you do.
If I'm just gonna be completely honest, I'm a weed smoker on top of that. So, you know, my de-stressor is to smoke a blunt, and you know, it's like, all right, let me just take a minute and just get my mind right real quick. But it does get stressful, and if I'm stressed, like if I'm stressed and I feel stressed, I won't take a client. And I won't work on jewelry or I won't read tarot because it's all energy and I don't want any of that stressful energy to be transferred onto someone else. So if I have to refund you or if I have to reschedule you, at this point, I don't have a problem doing that because I pride myself on being authentic with my energy. And if I'm helping you, then I need to be in the right headspace. But other than that, so for me, back in 2010, I ended up getting Bell's palsy, and my right side of my face was paralyzed for 3 weeks. And after every test in the world that they could run on me, the last test that they did was a stress test. And basically, the way they explained it to me is like our nerves are like rubber bands. So when you first get a rubber band, it's real small, it's tight, like, you know, it's good. But after a while, if you keep using it, it starts to lose its elasticity. That's basically what happened to my nerves. I was so stressed out at that point that my nerves had just given up on me. So if I get to the point now where I start to feel stressed, I actually have physical triggers, like my eye will start to twitch, or my mouth will start to twitch, or like my nose, anything on my, like I start to get tingling in my right side of the face. And I know now that that's my body's warning sign to me, like, all right, you need to figure it out. So for me, it's just listening to my body. And if I'm doing something that's stressful, I stop. If I'm listening to somebody, I hang up. like I just be honest with you. Like I let them know. Like I just can't do this right now. You're literally, I tell people, like you're literally working my nerves, and I don't mean that in a negative face. Like my face is twitching to the point that you're working my nerves, and I just can't. And I just step away. If it's going for a walk, I'm an earth sign. So going for a walk, putting my feet in the ground, just going outside, that for me right here, instantly will change my mood.
Wow.
So I've had to learn these things over the years. So stress really isn't an issue for me right now. Like I might be stressed, like in the moment, like, oh my God, I'm so stressed. But it's just in that moment. I don't really acquire a lot of stress anymore just because of my experience.
There's definitely a key tip that you said with listening to your body. A lot of people don't know how to listen to their body. I had to learn that myself over these past couple of years because I was a vegan for 4.5 years. So I learned through that, changing my diet, practicing intermittent fasting, how to listen to my body, really understand what my body was telling me and not just reacting off of these, these artificial things that I've been putting in it that's just making me react a certain way. And also, one thing you mentioned, a few guests have mentioned that as well, and they also work with their hands. And I think that people need to take that into great consideration, especially when you're shopping with people. You want to shop with somebody who understands the energy that they have and how it helps or hinders their products. Some people are just out there making products to make money, and that's what they want to do, cool. But certain things like what you're doing, food, chefs that told me the same thing about their energy. If they're not feeling it, they're not gonna cook because it will show up in your food. There's another lady I know who does like soaps and vaginal things for women, and she told me the same thing. She's like, if I'm feeling in a bad mood, I don't work that day because my energy is gonna transfer to the soap, and my clients are gonna feel it, and I believe that you have to know who you're buying your stuff from and respect that of them because that's very important. Do you find that that's that you had to learn that while you were doing it?
It was, like I said, because of my experiences, I kind of like knew it, but now that I'm having a business and I'm more in it, I'm very more aware and attentive to it.
That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
So, what is your big plan? Like, what's your ultimate goal? What do you see 5 years from now? I mean, I know it's but
ultimately, my goal, my current goal right now is I kind of want to open. I mean, ultimately, in the long run, I want to have a chain of them. But I'm a Capricorn, so I'm so hands-on and business with it. But I want to have like an apothecary, so that way it is a one-stop holistic place where you can come, you can get some good vegan just plant-based food, not necessarily vegan, but some plant-based food. You can have a smoothie, you can have some tea, you can go in the back, you can do a yoni steam, you can get a massage, you could, I want to be able to just come and just like, it's like a spa type of place, but it's a store type of place where you can really just come and get your mind right. And then I want to be able to have those in a bunch of different cities across the nation.
Definitely. That's definitely needed, man. I'm always looking for a place like that. They have some, but they're always so far away from me, man. To make it to them, but I definitely would like to visit something like that. And when you said vegan or plant-based, when I tried the vegan diet 4 years ago, the one thing I learned about the vegan diet was that vegans can have just as horrible diets as somebody who's a non-vegan. So just because you're a vegan or you call yourself vegan does not mean you're eating the right
healthy. Yeah. Exactly. That's why I switched it up and I was like, you can get some plant-based food, some salad, some quinoa and stuff like that.
Exactly.
I caught myself. That's why I switched it up.
Yeah, I had to do it myself. Even now, I remember yesterday I was eating veggie patty. And this guy was like, that better not be me. That better not be me. I thought you were vegetarian. I thought you were vegan. And I was like, look, I don't subscribe to those labels, man. I did before, but I eat what I want. I just choose not to eat.
Basically.
You know what I'm saying? Like, all of those labels is garbage. You just have to take care of your body. Eat the right foods, period.
Exactly. I say the same thing. Like, I don't conform to labels anymore because I don't eat meat, but I'm going to let you know, if I go to Jamaica, I'm going to get me some fresh cooked goat or some oxtails. Like, I'm going to eat meat for meat. So that's why I can't stick to a label. Like if I haven't, like I'm getting ready to move, so I'm gonna be in Houston. When I come home, my grandma make the best fried chicken. I'm gonna have a piece of her fried chicken. I'm not gonna overboard with it because everything in moderation. But I'm gonna have a piece of fried chicken when I come home. So
everything is in moderation. You just gotta know what you're doing and try to eat as much whole natural foods as possible. That's it. That's all I say. Just try to eat as much natural whole foods as possible. You'll be good. So what mistakes do you wish you would have avoided on this trip?
Say that again. The phone was breaking up.
What mistakes do you wish you could have avoided on this journey?
Mistakes. A lot of my mistakes come with like making the jewelry and stuff like that.
Hey, it's Mr. Believe, and I want to tell you about Unique African Boutique. It is a beautiful collection of authentic clothing, jewelry, accessories, and art that are made with the highest quality from artisans in Africa. What you get from Unique African Boutique, you can't get from anywhere else. Our entire collection is made up of one-of-a-kind pieces that promote the culture, music, and lifestyle of Africa, with care for the artisans and their families and their livelihood. Shop Unique African Boutique today at shopuniqueafricanboutique.com.
Biggest mistake is I don't have no patience. If I'm going to please them, I just don't have patience. Yeah, I'm still learning that one. I haven't mastered that yet.
I'm always telling myself, hey Kev, as long as you're doing better than yesterday, don't get so caught up in the end goal. Just do better than yesterday. The results will come. Just keep putting it together. Keep putting the strings together, and it will come. A lot of times, it's because I feel like it's the society and media that makes you feel like things that happen like this. And they're drilling that in your head today, tomorrow, get it tomorrow. And you feel like you have to do it by tomorrow. But there's not one tree that you can see outside right now that was planted yesterday.
This is very true.
So you got to give it time.
Yeah, so patience is definitely the biggest thing.
Yes. That's one of the things I had to learn, definitely. So what other tips do you have for entrepreneurs?
Like I was saying earlier, just start. If you have a plan, just start. And be knowledgeable in whatever it is that you're trying to do. Because you mentioned it earlier. A lot of people just out here like, yeah, you can make jewelry, but you're doing it. Don't do it just for the money. Like, I know everybody want to hustle and make $1, but make sure you have a passion and a purpose behind it. Whatever it is. Like, even if you just want to make popsicle sticks, like, okay, but have a passion behind why you want to do it. So then that way, it doesn't become just another something that you're doing. Like, if you're going to start off and you're going to really want to grow something, take the time, learn the knowledge behind it. Like, when I first started my master herbalist class, I was like, oh, I'm about to go make this tea right here. But I didn't have all the knowledge behind it. So it was like, I could make this tea right here, but one, I got to go gather the herbs. So where am I getting the herbs from? Because you want to make sure that you're getting them from a good source. Like, are you going to get organic or not? Do you want it powdered? Do you want it sifted? Like, do you want it natural and raw, and you want to grind and cut and sift and do all that yourself? So just be knowledgeable about whatever it is that you want to do. Make sure you take the time to do that research. So then it's just going to be smooth sailing from there. Because once you have that knowledge, it's like riding a bike. Once you figure it out and you master it, it's always going to be there, and it's always going to come back to you. So even if you move on to do something different, but make sure you just have that grounding in whatever it is that you're going to do.
I mean, that those my two biggest things that you learn, those skills are going to help to propel you either way. And if you're just doing it for the money, when it gets rocky and the money dries up, because there's seasons in every business.
Exactly.
You're not going to be able to sustain yourself because you're only there for the money. You don't have that real love for what you're doing.
And then you're going to fall into all the depression and fear and anxiety and the stress because you're going to be wondering where your next dollar is coming. Versus if you have the skill behind it and you're passionate about it and you're putting out there, the dollar is going to come regardless because people are going to see that passion and that intent behind it. And they're going to respect it. It's going to make them want to actually work or buy from you or whatever it is that you're doing at that point.
Because the energy that you're going to get into it is going to be sell for itself. Now we're about to get into the this or that segment. This is where I usually make my announcements, but I already made it. We're having a little phone issue. So if anybody has any questions, though, for Danielle, just drop it in the question box below. We already have one question that we're going to put her on the hot seat with at the end of this or that segment. So if you guys have any additional questions that you want to ask, don't be afraid. Drop it in the question box below, and we'll put her on the hot seat at the end of this or that. So which would you prefer, audiobooks or podcasts?
Neither. I want regular books.
Oh, man. So many people tell me that.
You know what? So my sisters and I, we actually had a whole conversation about this. So for me, I was never really good in school because I have a photographic memory. So if I read something, then basically, like, I got it. Like, I'm going to remember it or whatever the case may be. But when it came to, like, sitting in class and listening to people, I don't like to be talked at. I think is the problem. I just don't like to be talked at. So an audiobook and podcast, like if I feel like somebody is just talking to me constantly, especially if I have my earbuds in, versus if it's like a movie or something that I can actually watch. Like if it's a video podcast, like how we're doing, I'm cool with that. But if it's just like I have to just listen to it, my attention is not going to be there. And same with the audiobooks. My attention is not going to be there. Like, I want to read it. I want to go back and read it. I want to be able to visualize it.
Yeah. I can get that. So what books would you recommend?
I have books all around me. It depends on really what you want to do. I will say this. This book right here changed my life. It's called Ring the Alarm by Nikolai Pizarro, and she's on Instagram. Her Instagram is called Raising Readers. But this is a 0 to 5 parenting guide for low income Black and brown caregivers. And as a parent, like, I just read this book in the last probably 2 months ago. But as a parent, the number of statistics in here about our children, it had me crying, and it just kind of like awakened me to who I am as a mother in general. Like, if I was doing something after reading this book, I'm not doing it no more. Like, it made me change my whole parenting style after reading this book. So I definitely recommend that for anybody who works with children or have young children. But I mean, I have stacks of books just by my bed. I got a whole bookcase. I got books in my office. So
Ring the Alarm is definitely one I will be checking out.
Yes.
Talk about you asked the question. Make sure you drop your question in the question box if you haven't already. And it was saying it's kind of dark, so she had to go inside, unfortunately, or she has to hook up to the charger. But if you could turn on a light or something like that, because they said they can't see you. If not, you guys just have to listen, man. Next, which app would you prefer, Facebook or Instagram?
I'm an Instagram person because I like the videos. I feel like Facebook, I just feel like it's a lot of people on Facebook. They just it's way too much. They got too many apps. It's too much. Right? Like, it's just a lot. I had Facebook. So I had Facebook when Facebook initially came out, when you had to have a college email address in order to get on Facebook. Yeah. Somebody had to invite you, and you had to be approved for that. Exactly. So I had Facebook when it came out. Now I'm just kind of all set with it.
Yeah, me too. I like Instagram. It's much more easier and definitely appeals to me more. I like the videos and the pictures on there. Yep. So now I'm asking you a music question. Which artists do you prefer? Now, these are some of my favorite artists. The genre's Afro beats. Who do you prefer, Yemi Alade or Tiwa Savage?
So, we had talked about this, and I wasn't familiar with the names. So I looked them up. I forget the first one's name. I haven't heard any of that, but I know the second one, so I'm gonna go with the second one.
All right, so you go with the Tiwa. Okay.
Tiwa. I've heard the Tiwa.
All right. So, makeup question: which would you prefer, MAC or Fenty? Which one you like?
I'm not a makeup person. I'm just all natural. I might do a little lip gloss, but I'm just gonna have to go with Fenty because I'm gonna have to just represent for our people.
Hey, that's the best answer right there.
I'm rooting for everybody.
There you go. You got to vote. Vote black. Hey.
Vote black. I'm rooting for everybody black.
And this last question I'm gonna ask you is a personal question. The thing that I have, a little bit of sweet tooth that I have. Which one would you prefer? Chocolate chip cookies or Oreos?
I'm an Oreos.
Oh, there we go. Do you have a particular flavor or you just like the original?
Original. I don't like all the extra stuff.
Yeah, I'm an original guy myself. So let's see. We got some hot seat questions. Let's see if we get some in here. This thing doesn't want to come up right away. There we go. What herbs are better for detoxing?
So, like I was saying earlier, it depends on what all you're trying to detox. Like, are you trying to do a complete system detox? Are you trying to do a liver, a kidney, try to lose weight detox? Like, I can't really give you a specific herb or best herbs because it really depends on what you're trying to detox. But I will say that I do have a specialty tea on my website that has the herbs in it to detox and cleanse all of the systems. So you might want to just go on my website, the link's in my bio, click on the herbs, and it's the specialty herbs, and it's my detox tea, and it targets skin, blood circulation, heart health, liver health, kidney health, colon health. So it has herbs in it to target all of those, clean them out, keep them healthy.
Definitely. So if you guys are trying to figure all that out, man, just go to the website, click the link in her bio. Definitely go and find that out. This next question is similar, so I'm just going to tell that person as well. Go to the website. Click the link in the bio, and you'll get that. This last question is, which brand of sea moss is SEAMOSS, by the way? What sea moss would you recommend?
Like I said, I get my sea moss locally from the Jamaicans in the corner store because I know them, I trust them, I know it's coming straight back from Montego Bay and stuff like that. But
I get it from a Jamaican plant-based diet restaurant.
Yeah, you know, you just if you know, you know. You just gotta go to who you know sometimes. But as far as a particular brand, there isn't any brand nowadays. It's more so you just need to figure out where it's coming from, how it's being packaged, if they have any pictures of it. Irish sea moss is good. The purple sea moss is good. Like, sea moss in general is going to be good. It's a matter of the source that you get it from.
That's true. Okay, let's see. Any more questions? Okay, that was the last question. So, before we end the podcast, I think we got about 3 minutes left before Instagram tries to kick us off. I just want to let everybody out there know. If you guys are enjoying the podcast, just text BIY to 31996. And Danielle, I want to say thank you once again for coming on this podcast. I really appreciate it. Yeah. This is just, everybody's been enjoying the conversation. This is a product of Unity is Wealth right here. She's all the way in Massachusetts.
I was just getting ready to say, go join Unity as well.
There you go. Unity is Wealth is an organization of entrepreneurs. It's like a think tank. We ask each other questions, and they definitely give us a lot of information. They have classes every Monday. And before we go, I definitely want Danielle to let you know thank you for everything that you're doing in the community and being an inspiration to all of us. And lastly, let us all know where we can get all of your, patronize your business.
So right now I'm only on Instagram. So my page, click the link is in the it's pinned. It's Capera Elise. It's at the top. It's at the bottom. It's pinned. So definitely click on my page. Send me a message. I have links to my email and my personal cell phone. I don't have like a business number. It's my phone because I work directly with one-on-one with people. So send me a text message, give me a call. I answer all the numbers. And then my website, it's www.caperaelise. The link is in my bio. It's the same as the name of my username. But yeah, check me out. I have, you can sign up because I have the Wix mobile app, so you can sign up to the Wix. I do daily cards of the day. You can shop through the app. You can go on the website. But yeah, Capera Elise, Instagram, and CaperaElise.com. I'm going to have Facebook soon, but Facebook is a whole process that I have to learn all over again. So it's a whole other app. Like, that's in the works. But it's, Instagram, you can find me, email, text me, go to the website. I got you.
Definitely. Once again, thank you, Danielle, for joining us on the podcast. Everybody else, thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This show is brought to you by Believe in Yourself. Don't forget to visit IBelieveInMeInc.com. That's IBelieveInMeInc.com for all your BIY swag. That's I Believe in Me, Inc. for all your DIY swag. And we'll see you on the next episode.